Good morning, students. This is the second yoga practice of our semester. The purpose of this video is just to continue to introduce you to these different yoga poses and kind of to what a yoga routine can look like. This is going to be another 30-minute routine. I'm going to give minimal verbal instructions because I'm just trying to introduce you to the poses. We're not trying to really think too deeply about the poses today. We'll do that later on this semester. The big difference in today's poses is instead of starting down on the mat, we're going to start standing in mountain pose. So let's go. So mountain pose. As I said during the first video, mountain pose is essentially just standing here. But we're standing here with a purpose. Our feet gripping the mat. Feet gripping the mat. Quads engaged. This holds your core down, the bottom of the mountain. Then the top of the mountain, engage your core muscles. And now all of these muscles are holding you up. What's going to hold you down, ground you into the mountain? Your hands. Take your hands, ground them into the mountain. So even though I'm just standing here with purpose. And also, my muscles are engaged. If someone tried to move my arm, they shouldn't be able to move. Yeah. All right. Now stay in mountain pose. Just listen to what I have to say. Half of mountain pose is standing here with purpose. The other half is your breath. So while you're standing here with purpose, and throughout your yoga practice, do deep, deep belly breaths. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. So we're doing mountain pose. We're standing here with purpose, focusing on our breath, getting into the moment. We'll spend another 1 minute here in mountain pose. Okay, now that I'm focused and I'm ready to practice my yoga practice, so I'm at the top. One thing I forgot to mention, mountain pose should be at the top of your mat. So we're at the top of our mat doing mountain pose. And now we're ready to do our first warm-up pose, which is moonflowers. So we take a step back, so we're lengthwise on our mat. Our feet, 45-degree angle, a little wider than our shoulders. And on an inhale, we're lifting our arms up and straightening our knees. On an exhale, going down into our moonflowers. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Let's do 6 more at your own breathing pace. All right, and now on my next inhale, I'm going to transition to sunflowers. Now in sunflowers, we're still going down into the squat with our legs, but our upper body's doing this instead. Exhale. Inhaling up. Exhaling sunflower. Making big, beautiful sunflowers with those arms. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Let's do 4 more on our own pace. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Okay. Now, the next inhaling up, let's go ahead and pause. Bring our feet back up to the top of our mat, back to mountain pose. So that was our warm up. And after our warm up, we always do a couple sun salutations. Now, a couple things. If you have wrist issues, when we're going down on our wrists, instead of using your wrists, you can use your fists. If that's still hurting, you could also just head on down to your elbows and try doing things on your elbows. But if you need modifications in the yoga practice, if something's causing you discomfort, let me know, and I can help you out. See if I can give you a modified version of the pose. All right, so sun salutations. This is 1 breath, 1 movement. 1 breath, 1 movement. So just like last week, I recommend falling like a half step behind me until you're understanding the flow of the sun salutation. So we're here in mountain pose, inhaling arms up, exhaling forward fold. Inhaling my left leg back into a kneeling lunge. Exhaling back into child's pose. Inhaling up into kneeling plank. Exhaling, kneeling crocodile. Inhaling, shoulders up for cobra. Exhaling, back into child's pose. Inhaling my right leg forward into kneeling lunge. Exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling to mountain. Exhaling to chair. Inhaling to mountain. And I'll do it one more time, but this time stepping back and forward with the opposite legs. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling our right leg back into kneeling lunge. Exhaling into child's pose. Inhaling up to kneeling plank. Exhaling, kneeling crocodile. Inhaling, shoulders up for cobra. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhaling our left leg forward into kneeling lunge. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up to the mountain. Exhaling, chair. and then inhaling back into mountain. Okay, that concludes the warm-up phase of our yoga practice. Now we're going to get into the work phase, going into mountain 2. And instead of holding these poses for 1 breath and moving around a lot, we're going to be holding these poses for 5 breaths. The first one is called lateral flexion. Lateral flexion is just, you're standing here in mountain pose, but you should be doing this at the top of your mat. But we're in mountain pose. Remember, feet, quad, core, hands. And then we're taking one of our arms, and we're simply lifting it up over our head. But we're just lifting it here. You shouldn't be able to move it around. You should be stretching through your entire body. Not like this, relax the shoulder. 5 breaths. And release back to mountain. And bring the other arm up. Not like this. Relax the shoulder. So you're stretching up, but relaxing the shoulder, feeling the stretch through this entire body. Through the leg, through the body, through the arm. And release. Next, chest expansion. We did chest expansion last time. This is the connecting our arms, or in mountain pose first, sorry. We connect our hands behind our back, straighten our elbows, and if you can, hinge at the hips, do a little forward fold. And release. All right, now, we're going to take a step back, turn sideways to face the side of our mat for standing straddle splits. Our leg muscles engaged. I like to put my hands at my hips, and then on an inhale, we're hinging at the hips, or on an exhale, hinging at the hips. Inhale, expand. Exhale, see if you can go lower. Keep your spine neutral. Your feet or your hands can come to your quads, calf, or floor. All right, slowly bring yourself back up to standing. And now pivot to one side. Let's pivot to the front of the room. For pyramid pose. So our feet should be lined up. And then we, on an inhale, expand and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Now your hands come down to your quads. Don't bring it down to your knee. You could also bring it to your shin or the floor. Just make sure that you're keeping your spine neutral. and release. Let's pivot 180 degrees to do pyramid on the other side. So then inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, begin to lower down. I feel the stretch on my calf a lot. And slowly lower back up. And then let's pivot back to the front of the mat. Come back up to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Taking a step back into child's pose. Now we'll do a warrior series. So we're going to come back up onto all fours, bring our left leg forward, coming up to standing for warrior one. And in warrior one, make sure your hips are pointing forward, arms up. For warrior two, we take our hips, point them to the side wall, and bring our arms down to shoulder length. Reverse warrior. Now come back to warrior two, and then we're going to go into triangle by straightening the front leg, leaning forward, tilting up. And back to child's pose. So we're going to come all the way back down onto all fours into child's pose. All right, now warrior pose, warrior series on the other side. So we're going to bring our right leg forward now. Hips pointing to the front, arms raised. Turning our hips to the side for warrior two. Tilting up for reverse warrior. Back to warrior two, and then triangle. Straighten the leg, move forward, tilt up. All right, back into child's pose. So we just lower our body down to all fours into child's pose. All right, so back to standing. So we're going to go onto all fours. Bring our left leg forward into a lunge, into a forward fold, inhaling arms up, exhaling back down to mountain. Okay, so now we're going to do our balance pose. which today is standing balance pigeon. So you should be standing at the top of your mat. I'm going to stand here in the middle for demonstration purposes. We start here in mountain pose, and then we go on down into chair pose. And then once you're in chair pose, you get your balance on one of your legs. I'm going to start with my left leg, which for the camera would probably be right leg. Gather all of my balance on my left side of my body, and I'm going to lift my right leg over my left, bring my hands to heart center, standing balance pigeon. I'm going to spend 5 breaths here, 5 deep breaths. Release. Back to mountain pose. All right, so now on the other side. So I start in chair pose. And then I gather my balance on my right side of my body. Left leg over. Hands to heart center. 5 deep, deep breaths. And release. All right, and that's everything standing position. Now let's work back down to child's pose. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Stepping my left leg back into a forward lunge. The other leg back into child's pose. Okay, so now we're going to come onto our belly for locust pose. On locust pose. So we're going to start here on our belly, and then on an inhale, we lift our chest, our arms, our legs, all up, balance our body on our core. We're going to spend 10 breaths here. Maybe on an inhale, lifting up a little bit more. Don't lift your head. Keep your neck neutral. Lift from your chest. And release. Back to child's pose. Okay, back onto my belly for bow pose. Now you have the option. You can either do 2 sets of holding both feet, or you can do 1 set of holding one foot and 1 set of holding the other foot, which is what I'm going to do today. Starting with my left foot. So from my belly, I engage my leg muscles, I bring them back, and now I'm not just pulling on my leg, I'm engaging my leg muscles. So I'm going now, I'm engaging my leg muscles, and I'm trying to kick my foot away from my hand, but my hand is holding on. Bow pose. And release. Now you can either do a second set if you're holding on to both legs, or if you're holding on to one leg, now you do the other side. And once I had a good grip, I start kicking out with my foot, holding on, not letting go. And release. And back to child's pose. All right, back up onto all fours and onto our butts and rolling over. So we're good, the knees to chest, and we're going to do our next couple poses from the knees to chest pose. So we start in the knees to chest. And then our first pose is dead bug. Dead bug, that one. We're going to lift our legs. And you're going to take your two fingers and you're going to hold onto your toes. And you want your tailbone to be down against the ground if possible. And you want your feet pointing directly at the ceiling. So tailbone on the ground, feet up towards the ceiling, dead bug. You can also just hold on to your knees if your tailbone is not touching the ground. And release. Back into knees to chest. All right, now release your legs. We're asking you to do a supine spinal twist. So lying on our backs, I'm going to take your right lat knee and bring it up. And then you're going to take your right leg, so you have your right knee in your left hand. You're going to lift your right knee up and then take your left hand and guide it over to the left. Your right arm out to the right, head up towards the ceiling, supine spinal twist. And release. And then the other side. So I'm lifting up my left leg and then taking my right hand and guiding my left leg to the right and my left hand to the left. And release. And finish off our practice and do one more knees to chest. This is just any other tension. If you have any tension left in you at this point, grab onto those shins, pull those knees in tight. Any last tension, pull those knees in with that tension, and then release down into final relaxation. And the goal of final relaxation is total relaxation. And we can finish off every practice with 2 to 3 minutes of just total, complete relaxation. All right. Time to come on back. Bring my knees up. Roll to the side. If your eyes are closed, maybe start to open them. Push yourself up. Back into seating position. Crisscross applesauce. Sitting straight all the way up. Everybody, thank you for another fantastic practice. Have yourselves a great day, and we finish off every practice with a namaste. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.